Yeah, Wednesday night, the NHL returns, Higgins, and your Flyers take a big rivalry game on opening night at home versus the Penguins. You and I will be on opposite sides on this one, but I just want to make it clear, Higgins, I'm not really betting against you. I just don't know how many times I'm going to see a plus number next to Pittsburgh this year, and I'm getting it on opening night when we really don't know much about either of these teams. And it's probably as true 50-50 as a game's going to be. So I'm just going to take it. I'm taking it pretty blind. But I know Crosby's going to be out there, and that's pretty much all I need to know to be like, plus 105 with that guy, I'll take it.
Well, you're right. Opening night bets, those can be pretty blind. I mean, especially in the NHL when it's a rivalry game, an in-state rivalry game like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of last year's data. I'm going to look at how did these teams do last year? Well, the Flyers were one of the best teams on home ice last year. On the road, not that great. At home, they were fantastic. 25, 6, and 4 is how they did at home in the 2019-2020 season. So I think that the Flyers are going to win this since they're at home. I think that there's always the potential for an empty netter, especially in a rivalry game like this late. So that's why I like to bet on these puck lines often, because of the potential of an empty netter. You never know what that can do for you. It'll push you over that puck line a lot too. And when you get the Flyers minus 1.5 at plus 250, those are some great odds to open the season for me. So let's go Flyers.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely always the chance of the empty netter for sure. That's great to note. In terms of the home ice, I'm not sure what to think of it because to one point there's going to be no fans, but to the other point the blue lines still come into play, like which way your lines are shifting and how you can shift on the offense and defense and things like that. So being the home team's an advantage in that respect at times, but I just I really don't know what's going to happen there. Also, with the home team, you get to change second. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. The
Yes.
home lines are the blue lines is when you're attacking on your home ice twice. You attack in front of your bench twice, which is nice. But in terms of line changes, you get to react to the opposing team. So it's an advantage, but is it how big of an advantage it is? We shall see.
We shall see is right. But Brett, before we move on from the NHL, when we were writing out these lines, you had a very interesting thought on a way to try to potentially bet both sides of an NHL game with the money line and these puck lines, because you get some interesting odds, unlike when you bet spread with the NFL or the NBA per se.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a middle that it could fall in that you miss, but if you, for instance, Colorado and St. Louis is a game that I personally think will be pretty close, Higgins. And if I take a look at the odds right now, Colorado minus 1.5 on the puck line is plus 190, and St. Louis is plus 120 on the money line. So theoretically, Colorado could win by one, and I could lose that bet, but I'm locking myself into plus money almost pretty much. So I don't know if that's a strategy I want to employ, but it was something I looked at today and I was like, huh, that's something I can't do in basketball.
Yeah, when you mention that to me, it's something that I don't think I'm just going to go out there and bet without taking a look at necessarily, but I think for this first week or two of the NHL, I might start looking at what you're saying here, of where there's a positive odds for the puck line for one team, and then for the other team they have a positive odds on the money line, and just see how that plays out. How many times does it fall in the middle that you would be a loser, and how many times would you come out a little bit positive, like with the St. Louis line, where if the Blues ended up winning that game, you'd end up making point 0.2 units basically.
Right, or maybe Colorado wins seconds and you make .99 units. So,
Yeah.
or Colorado wins by 2, excuse me. But yeah, it's an interesting strategy. I again, I don't know the numbers. I don't know the math. I'm not doing it in this game, but that game in particular, I was like, that's going to be a close game, and you can kind of get plus odds on both sides.
Hey, as someone on the West Coast, I'm just happy for more sports because some late night hockey gives me something else to do. Because living on the West Coast, some people love it. They're like, "Oh, you wake up, football's at 10 a.m." I'm more concerned about the fact that games are done by like 8:30 and I have nothing else to do with the rest of my night. I like to watch late night sports personally, so I enjoy the fact that there's some hockey to throw into the mix to maybe be able to watch some sports a little later into the night.
There we go. Get those Kings and Sharks games on. Ducks.
Absolutely.